So let me tell you what our next step is going to be. We've asked Vicky Kelman to serve first as a meta commentator and to reflect on what our three panelists have had to say. Then we're going to let them duke it out with each other. While they're doing that, Jeffrey has some cards, and we're going to pass them around so that you can make some notes to yourself on things that you want to ask questions about. I think we'll be able to do the questions orally, but I want to give those of you who want to put your words together with these cards so that you can formulate what it is you want to ask. So Vicky, you get to give us the first reaction, please.
Thanks. This is a bit tough because so many issues were stirred up by the previous three speakers. So I'd like to say a couple of things. I'll kind of start with the word that Brian threw out there, which is revolution, and the revolution of technology. And I'm going to compare it, I'm going to combine it with the word Naomi used, which I find myself wondering what it means, evaded. And I'm thinking invaded. And I'm thinking that technology in a certain way has invaded our lives. And I think I'm a family educator. I am most interested, I would be happy to close every single school that serves only children that does not also incorporate their parents or grandparents or significant adults in the learning. I had a very wonderful teacher at the very beginning of my career who once said that his answer to issues of Jewish education would be close all the schools and teach the parents and teach the parents and teach the adults in the community. And I thought that was totally off the wall. And through my journey as a Jewish educator, I have come to appreciate that to a far greater extent than I ever could have imagined. Because as Abraham Joshua Heschel said once, teaching children without involving their parents is like turning on the heat in the winter and leaving the windows open. And I feel we've been doing a lot of that. A ton of money out there, and I include day schools, Sunday schools, 3-day-a-week schools, even summer camps, although I think summer camps have a better crack at it because they see the kids more contact hours. So I think that nothing we do in a Jewish school is going to make a shred of difference if we're not bringing the whole family along on the Jewish journey. So I would preface my remarks by saying that. I think technology has invaded our lives. I think it has a lot to offer. I think we've benefited a ton from it, but I think there are no boundaries on that. So when I sit in the airport and I see two parents and two kids who are clearly traveling together, and each parent is on the phone, and each kid is on a handheld game, I'm wondering what kind of vacation this is, has been, or will be. They're all four around the table, but they're not communicating in any way, shape, or form with each other. I see that one of the preschools that I sometimes do some teaching at has a sign at the gate saying, please turn off your cell phone. Our school is a cell phone free zone. And one of the reasons that they enforce it, they will ask parents to put away their cell phone. You're here to pick your kid up at the end of a day. This is time to engage with your child about his or her day, or about your day, but not to be on the phone with other people. And that was very kind of a very strong signal to me about the invasion of phones in family life. I now sit at meetings with people who cannot put away their BlackBerries. And I recently was starting a work relationship with someone to whom I had to say, when you meet with me, and I'm not the superior in this relationship. It's someone I was working for, but I had to say, when you meet with me, here are the ground rules. Your phone has to be off, your office phone, your cell phone, you can't look at your computer, and if someone knocks on the door, you have to say you're busy. Otherwise, we're not going to be able to work together. Because we've lost the ability to really listen and really be, or we're losing, I should say, really be curious and really be attentive to the person whom we are with, whether we're out to dinner in a meeting or picking a child up from preschool. So I'm very worried about that because I feel there are no boundaries anymore to work or home. I think that, you know, educators used to talk about the possibility of, there was a bumper sticker, some of you may be familiar with this, that said, "Kill your television." And there were sometimes movements in some communities to have a television-free day or television-free week or television-free as long as you could. And in many of those studies, the families who joined and turned off their TVs often went through what some of us would identify as like withdrawal from smoking or drugs or alcohol, but a real withdrawal. And then eased into a life that they really enjoyed more in many ways, according to their reports. But then when the period of the study was over, most of them slowly but surely went back to watching television. One more second. Okay, so
my job is to be the
I think a piece of it is getting people to turn off their devices and dedicate time to one another. Because I think, you know, when we talked about soul work, I think the soul of the family is at stake in the ways that families are pulled in so many directions. The psychologist and Tufts professor David Elkind once, well, I'll quote two people whose work I'm in love with right now. One's a professor by the name of William Doherty, and he talked about how families are overcommitted and underconnected. And he was mostly interested, not so much in the technology part, but in the busy part, which is related to why we're always on the phone calling. How busy families are, how underconnected they are, as the price they pay for overcommitment. And then the other thing is from David Elkind, Tufts professor and psychologist, who's written that in previous generations, the home was thought of as a haven. And in our day and age, the home is much more like a railroad station. And people are coming and going. They're greeting each other. Did you remember your ballet shoes? Do you have your books for Hebrew school? Here's your lunch money, or whatever the thing is, and they're coming and going. And Jewish life can't take place in a railroad station.